Okay, I'm going to show you my game with Jerry Areque as white, and I am black, and I was black. Um, English. First time I played knight f6 before knight c6. Usually I play knight c6. But we go to the four knights variation symmetrical, otherwise known as the normal variation symmetrical English A34 according to my engine. E3, playing D4. And automatic response is to capture and play the D5. Bishop G5 surprised me, but I decided to play it like the Panov Botvinnik attack of the Caro-Kann and played Bishop E6. Now the structure is similar to Panov Botvinnik. He captured, I recaptured, and then he played Queen D3. I started thinking for a long time because my D5 pawn is falling, as well as my B7 pawn. Knight A5 is not adequate because he can play Queen D5. So I thought I was in trouble. Queen B3 is the sort of move you would make in a blitz game where your opponent has no time to figure things out. But I had lots of time. I consumed my time and I found Bishop D4. Solves all my problems. He has nothing. He has nothing. Let's start the engines. The engine A has a tiny advantage at this point. He played C5, playing it like a Panov Botvinnik attack. This move. The setup I wanted is to have my king on G7 and my rook on E8. Castle, put my king on G7 and my rook to E8. It would take 3 moves. But I was worried that because he hasn't castled yet on the king side, and if I castle, it's a very committal move, and he might play H4 and start attacking. I wanted to put my rook on H8 as long as I can. So I said it would take the same number of moves to do it via king walk. So I moved my king to F8. Bishop E2 means he wants to castle kingside also, which is fine with me. There, I achieved my setup. Same number of moves. This capture. And then I expose the attack on the bishop. Because on E6 the bishop looks like a pawn. So I gave it employment elsewhere by attacking the knight and exposing the attack on the bishop on E2. He defended. I played rook D4, E4. Let's see. Oh, is this computer is the move recommended by both Stockfish and Komodo. Rook e4, he defended his pawn. The threat was to capture on f3 with a bishop and capture the pawn on d4. So they defended by rook a d1. I just wanted to connect my rooks on the e file, so I moved my queen out of the way. And then also developing it in the h3 c8 diagonal. He moved his bishop there, and I played a6. I'm telling him, if you want my knight because you attacked it, go ahead and capture it, because if he captures, then my pawn on d5 wouldn't be so weak. So I dared him to capture. He didn't, and played bishop f1 instead. And I connect my rooks. Oh, by the way, I'll go back here. Here he can capture. He might capture my rook on e4, but that would attack his knight. My pawn on e4 would attack his knight, and the knight is dead. So it's not a good idea for him. Also, now I connected my rooks. He played rook e4. I don't know why he played rook e4. I thought for a long time here. I think what he wanted to do was to egg me to capture that rook. But I didn't want to capture because the d4 pawn would be strong. So I was thinking of capturing the knight with my bishop. I was thinking what I would do if he captured with the rook. So if he captured with the rook, I was thinking queen g4, attacking the pawn on d4. But then he has a lot of defenses, and my pawn on d5 remains weak. But it's still a game. So I captured, and then I was surprised that he captured with the pawn instead. He didn't want to defend the d4 pawn, I guess. Maybe. So the king side is weak. I won a tempo by attacking the weak pawns first on f3, and then I attacked the pawn on e3, placing my queen in the ideal square g5, staring at the king and pinning the bishop. He defended, and then here I said, okay, I should attack the king side because it's weak, but I have no pieces. What I do have are pawns, and pawns sometimes are good attackers. March them forward. Forward march. My king is more secure than his king. His king has a lot of holes. His king side position has a lot of holes, whereas my king side pawns are shielding my king. But it's time to attack using pawns. He asked for, look for counterplay at the queen side. I kept marching my pawn, and now there's a threat of h3. Winning the pinned bishop. So he played h3 to stop my pawn, but giving me a good square for my queen. Now my queen is really staring at the king, knocking on the opponent's king's door. He played rook e2 so he can free the queen from defensive duty by removing the rook. So pawns start to attack. Okay, the threat is f4. F4, he cannot meet it by pushing his pawn to e4 because I would capture, and the pawn on f3 is pinned because of an attack on c3. So he blocked it again by playing f4, but this time I have another pawn that will unblock it. So he's forced to capture, and I played f4. Not time recapturing the pawn on g4 because it's more important to push the pawn at the time when he cannot play. Pawn takes pawn on f4 because the queen is pinned. My threat, of course, is f3, forking the bishop, the pinned bishop, and the rook on e2. So that was a very strong move, I think. According to the computers, it's now plus 3 pawns ahead for black. He relied on this maneuver, but I had seen that maneuver and I played right away this move. According to the computers, the knight move blunder is my advantage because he can actually sacrifice the exchange by capturing the knight. After the knight captures, like this one, I capture, check. I think that's in my favor, but the computer says no, it's just no. I think humans don't like it. Didn't. I thought I was ahead, but computers are computers. So he played queen c3. And I remember that I was very happy when he played queen c3 because when I played knight d4, I already considered that he would play queen c3 and prepared a move that's really, really beautiful. One of the most beautiful moves I have played in a tournament game ever. Rook e4. And then he started shaking his head. He realized he's lost. He's dead lost because rook e4 is very strong. Battery is low. Rook e4 is very strong because it held everything. It prevented queen takes knight. The rook cannot be captured by the bishop because the still pinned f3, and now f3 is unstoppable. So all his time and 2 minutes left compared to 8 minutes, and he just played queen b2, maintaining the pin, but not really preventing the unpreventable f3. And I remember that I was very happy when I played this move. I said, this is in the bag. I'm gonna win a piece, and the kingside position is in shambles. There. And so, what did he move? He just moved b5. According to the computers, it's mate in 10 with queen h3. Well, that's the computer mate in 8. That's the computer with queen e3. It's mate in 8. Oh, really? How? And then queen a1. Rook e5 to break the pin and freeing the knight. Amazing move. Amazing move. Anyway, that's not what happened. When he played b5, I didn't understand what it was for, but I just unpinned my knight by moving my king. He played that move. Okay, I capture. He played that. Oh, okay. We just defend. No problem. Computers already say it's plus 22 for black. And I played that move and he resigned. The knight is unpinned. It's going to be mate next move and there's nothing he can do about no, not mate next move, but there's nothing he can do about the coming attack using the knight. Computer says mate in 19 and he resigned. That's it.